All right, we are live on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here on this Wednesday evening if you're watching this live. Before we get to it, let me make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out, and it has right away. YouTube, this is incredible. A platform with 2 billion people. And you send my phone a notification right away when I go live. That's beautiful. It's like magic. It's amazing, right? Let me also make sure that the back end of YouTube is rolling smoothly. And it absolutely is. Like I mentioned a second ago, we're also simulcasting live on Facebook. Let me just make sure that that is rolling smoothly. I don't have a production manager, folks. I have to make sure this is running smoothly myself. So there are no issues. And it absolutely is. Like I mentioned a second ago, we're also simulcasting live on Facebook. Yes, we are, Coach Eli. We are also simulcasting live on Facebook. And it's rolling quite well. All right. And one more thing before we get to it. Let me pay special props once again to this channel sponsor. That's none other than my great longtime friend of over 10 years. Who's been running an amazing marketing company for about 15 years. It's Troy Brewer. He's the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. If you'd like more information about the Discover Community Network, or DCN for short, please go in the description about a third of the way down on the YouTube side of things. There are a couple links there. One will link you to the main site. The other will link you to the DCN Internet Radio Network. If you're on Facebook, you can do a Facebook search for Discover Community Network, and you'll find a whole bunch of Facebook business pages there. And then you will be able to figure out how to access the websites and how to connect with Troy. Should you have any further questions, Troy is a master marketer. He is very reasonably priced, and a lot of his consultations are even free of charge too. So if you even want to have a conversation with Troy, and you're interested in coming up with a marketing plan, he can definitely help you. I'm sure he'd be happy to give you a free consultation. That's how he's done things in the past, unless he's changed things in the last day or two, which I doubt. But yeah, check it out. www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. All right. So let's get right to it here. One person viewing on Facebook. No comments on Facebook yet. The YouTube chat is rolling smoothly. Tonight, folks, I have another interesting topic regarding modern world dating. And I was watching this video earlier today. And what is this channel name? Let me just look real quick here. I should have it in my history. It's called the It's Complicated channel. And the video was titled, I'll probably share this on my community tab on YouTube later on. The title was called Power of the P. I'm not going to say the P, but you know, it's a female body part below the waist, something that men want. Power of the P and being honest. Rules of modern dating and understanding women. It's complicated. Well, here's the thing. Because, like I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, because women are emotional beings biologically, that's the way they were made to be by a higher power, I believe to be God, which is what I'm trying to say. Women respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. Okay? And that's what makes things complicated because there's nothing rational about that, right? Because women they're not rationalizing or using logic when they think about things emotionally. Just like when men get emotional, we're not thinking logically, right? But men, typically a normal, strong alpha male is going to look at things logically first and not be emotionally phased, right? Okay? Women are the opposite of that. So a lot of times women don't even understand why they're feeling the way they're feeling. So how in the world can men figure out what's really going on with a woman when they're struggling to figure it out on their own based on their own biology, right? These are just facts, folks. These are biological facts, the biological differences between men and women. That's why it's complicated. Has it become more complicated in the modern world because of feminism and equal rights and women's movement and women's empowerment? Yes. And listen, let me put a disclaimer out here again, here tonight, before I talk about this topic or a topic like this. I do not hate women. I'm not here to attack women. I actually love women. I enjoy the company of a woman. But the types of women that I'm attracted to are more old-fashioned, old-school women with old-school traditional values. And nowadays, they're very rare and difficult to find. We almost consider calling these women unicorns. And there are very few unicorns out there today because women are just flexing their muscles. They're happy and excited that they have power now, whereas in the past, they felt like they didn't have power. And that wasn't the case. Men and women have always had their place in society, and they've always had their own individual purposes, right? But in the modern world, we've seemed to artificially change things. And I'll share more about that in a little bit, okay? We have a lot of artificial people in this world today. And I think what feminism did, it helped women. And I'm all for women having equal rights, the right to vote, the right to bear arms, equal pay for equal work, yada, 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 okay? Freedom of speech, all that stuff, right? That's all good. That's not the problem. That is not the problem. The problem is when it comes to modern day dating relationships and marriages, right? Well, right? It has severely impacted dating relationships and marriages. And I'll get more into that in just a little bit. Because the topic tonight is modern women are assertive at everything except when dating men. One more time, modern women are assertive at everything except when dating men. Think about this while I go through the YouTube chat here, okay? Women are very assertive nowadays because they've been empowered through feminism and Equal Rights Amendment, Civil Rights Act of 64, Women's Lib, etc., right? And women are working and they're providing for themselves. They do not need a man for survival anymore. That's part of the thing, right? That's part of what's changed things artificially, right? Okay. But if women are going to be assertive with everything now because they want to be equal to men, which is fine. People say women are equal to men. That's fine. Then why aren't women asking men out on dates? Why aren't women being assertive and going up to men and saying, hey, you know what? You look cute. You seem like a good guy. Would you like to go on a date with me? Why don't we flip the roles? Women or ladies, sorry. Ladies, why don't we flip the roles, right? Okay? Why don't you ladies ask us out, right? Okay? You're assertive in every other aspect, right? Except when it comes to being with us men in a relationship, right? You still want us to ask you out, right? Okay? So if it's going to be fair 50-50, then why don't you ladies start asking us out, right? You see, guys, if it wasn't for these beta males I've been talking about for the last several weeks here, and I've been talking about beta males, beta bonds for quite some time, right? If it wasn't for them enabling women to behave this way and have an endless amount of choice, then us men would be the ones choosing women like it used to be back in the days of traditionalism, right? Back in the days of traditionalism, women would fight for one man. There would be a group of 4 or 5 women that would see one man that was strong and good looking and confident and successful. And because women were dependent on men for survival back then, when they would see a man like this, women would fight amongst each other to win over that man. That doesn't happen anymore. Now instead we have beta males sucking up to women and doing what women used to do, right? It's like everything's flipped, right? It's flipped. That's why I say you have women acting like men and men acting like women. Now, one more thing before I get to the chat here on the YouTube side of things. Let me talk about the Haters Inc. channel here. Josh, I know you're watching me. You're obsessed with me, bro. And that's fine. You 75+% of your content for the last several weeks or months has been about me. right? You're trying to ride my coattails. You're trying to leverage my name for traction because your audience is part of that Dramasphere audience and you're trying to gain traction. That's no problem, dude. I have no problem with you doing what you're doing. Here's the thing, dude. I'm gonna make you an offer. Okay? I'm gonna make you an offer. And you may like this, you may not. Either way, it doesn't bother me. But Haters Inc., I'm willing to do an interview live on your channel. We could do it tomorrow. We could do it Friday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be around over the weekend. I may or may not be. I have some tentative plans. Let's see if they stick around or they fall through. You know how women are. Nowadays, they change plans at the last minute, right? So you can never count on anything until it happens, right? So the weekend's tentative. If not, we can even do it next week. I'm willing to do a one-on-one with you on your channel where you can ask me anything, but on the flip side, I can ask you anything as well. And I have plenty of questions to ask you on your own show. If you're willing to do that one-on-one, no problem. And after we go one-on-one for half an hour or an hour, I'd be willing to stay on for another half hour or an hour. And you could bring on all those people that have been talking smack about me, including you, Zia San, and other people that are just pathetic, moronic losers that have nothing better to do. If you want to come on and have a chat with me and try to have a civil conversation and try to not get triggered, because I'll tell you this, I'm not going to get triggered. I'm going to state the facts, right? Then we could do that. I'm totally cool with that. Josh? So Josh, a.k.a. Haters Inc., you have my email. You tried to email me for something else a few weeks back that I felt was a garbage attempt to try to do something else. I'll share more about that on your show if we actually do that. So let me know, Josh, a.k.a. Haters Inc., and feel free to have this as a part of your reaction video, bro. I look forward to it, bro. I look forward to you further promoting my good name. And email me at Coach Eli at coacheli@eliasmelas.com. You have my email. You know what to do. Not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Pinoy Ahoy. How come you're not coming over on the YouTube side of things, man? I know I promote this on Facebook as well as YouTube, but I met you through YouTube. I'm wondering why you're not over on the YouTube side of things and you're on Facebook. Or maybe it doesn't matter. No big deal. But we can help promote your channel on the YouTube side of things. 2 people on Facebook. Thank you for being on the Facebook side of things. Pinoy Ahoy, even though you're a YouTube channel that runs growth streams. All right. So, let me get the chat here. Before I went live, Nunya, a.k.a. New Girl in Town. Hi, Coach. Not sure if I'll make it to watch. My son was taken to the hospital for his sciatic nerve. His whole leg went numb. We'll pop in and say hello if I'm able. Have a great night. How old's your son, Nunya, if you're still around? He probably herniated a disc, especially if he's in his late 30s to early to mid 40s, around there. That happened to me. I'm completely healthy, in great shape, and I herniated a disc last year, almost a year ago. It's been about 11 months, and let me tell you, it's about 95% healed. Been doing physical therapy and other things, but he's going to be okay. When it first happens, the disc is compressing the nerve so tightly that it runs down one leg. Mine was and still is the right leg, right? And initially, you can barely walk. If you try to walk, you'll just like fall, like you have like hardly any balance, right? But after about a month or so or 2, it starts to get better most of the time. And then every single month after that, it gets better. It's going to take a while for that to heal, probably a year, a little more than a year to fully heal. But it will start improving, right? If it doesn't start improving after a month or 2, then he may have to have surgery. But most people that pinch a nerve, have a herniated disc, will heal, naturally. So best of luck to you on that. Keep me in the loop. Let me know what happened. Let me know the outcome of the doctor's visit. I'm assuming he herniated a disc, and that bulging disc, the bulge is bulging out and compressing the sciatic nerve, which when that happens, like, oh man, it's horrible. Let me tell you. It sucks. It sucks. But the best thing to do is when you're able to start walking, and it'll get better. Do your stretches, see a physical therapist, etc. I'm sure the primary care physician will refer him to a physical therapist. All right. Nuno furthermore says, thank you for a great show last night, even though I couldn't make it. Yeah, I got your message, I believe, on Facebook where you said that you're watching the replay. I hope you enjoyed it. I also clipped out a 10-minute section of that video that I published earlier this morning. If you want a bite-sized version of that, you can check out the previous video before this live stream for a 10-minute or less short clip version. I'm dropping truth bombs in 10 minutes or less again. And I'm going to try to clip as many videos as possible. It does take some time to edit them because I also cut out the ums and ohs and you knows and all that. So there's a lot of editing, but it's worth it because people will be able to get the actual topic from these streams in 10 minutes or less. And if they want to hear all the other community news while I'm live, they can just watch the live stream replay or just catch them when they're live, Lewis Fuller, good evening, Coach Eli. Good evening, Lewis. Life is great. Hello, Coach Eli. Everyone, hey, life is great. Welcome to the show. Nunez says, hello, life is great. Lewis Fuller just gave you a like. Thank you. Please don't forget to smash the like button. Says Lewis, I just shared your stream out. Thank you, Lewis. Nunez says, hi, Lewis. I've had a day from hell. Be back later. Waiting for a call about my son. Wasn't allowed to go to hospital with him because of the virus. I smashed the like on the way in. Thank you for that, Nunez. He probably herniated a disc. Hello, Nuna says life is great. Lewis Fuller, sorry to hear about that, Nuna. That's crazy world. Hey, Eli and everyone will be here listening. It's been a long day today, just getting home. Been on the go since 5 a.m. Eastern. Wow, that's 2 a.m. Pacific. Wow. Well, hopefully you're settled in, Mutt, and you're getting some rest. Joe Shipley says cello. Cello to you as well, Joe. Queen Helen Casey's in the house. The real queen is here. You're good, she says. Thank you, Queen. Hello, Mutt. Hello, Lewis says Queen. Mutt Nuts, Crazy World says, hey, Queen. Joe Shipley, good evening, Eli. Good evening, Joe. Welcome to the show. Lewis Fuller says, hi, Queen. Nunez says, hello, Queen Helen. Hello, Mutt Nuts, says Nunez. Furthermore, hello, Nunez, says Queen. Hi, Nunez. Welcome back, says Lewis. Everyone's saying hello. But that's Crazy World. I am the one who asked the guy I am seeing out just as friends a few months ago, and now we are more than friends, but we are not rushing anything. But Mutt, it's one thing for you to ask him out, which is great. That is awesome, right? But is this guy a masculine man? Is this guy like overly nice, or is he a good guy, firm but fair, right? Can you feel his masculine energy, Mutt? Or do you feel like you're wearing the pants? Be honest, Mutt. Be honest. The man has to feel like the man, and the woman has to feel like the woman. Life is great says these people making videos about you are really putting out a lot of feminine energy. Of course they are. They have nothing else, dude. And here's the thing, Life is great. Why do you think I'm asking them to go on their panels now? Because I'll answer all their questions, but then I'm going to ask them questions too, right? I'll ask them questions, right? And I don't get triggered anymore. So the bottom line is they're not going to get me triggered, so it's not going to entertain their audience. But if they're going to keep doing videos about me, okay, and making their channel primarily videos about me, then I'm going to say, hey, look, dude, you want to talk? I'll come on your show. You're already trying to leverage my subscribers, right? Whether you say it or not, right? So, hey, I'll help you out. Why not? I'm a good guy. I like to share the love, right? But, if you're going to ask me questions, I'm going to ask you questions too. And you have to answer my questions and I have to answer yours, right? Now, if we talk about things that happened years ago that we've talked about a million times, I'll say, hey, look, this happened years ago. How many more times are we going to talk about it, right? Can we talk about something new that's happened in the last week or two or a few months or whatever? Do we have to backtrack to the days where I did some things unintentionally? I got triggered on some shows because I didn't understand how YouTube worked. Those are the only questions I wouldn't answer, but I would say, hey, look, I don't have a problem answering them, but it's an old song. No one wants to hear it anymore. So why even talk about it, right? Right? Good point. Life is great. Nunez says, just waiting for my son's phone call. The nurse already called me. He's a little loopy from some relief medicine they gave him, but he's going to be okay. Of course, he probably herniated a disc. I wasn't given any type of medication or anything, right? Because when I went in, basically I was told, it's a herniated disc is what it is. So I wasn't given anything at all because the best way to heal from a pinched nerve, herniated disc, is to do physical therapy because your body's going to naturally repair it, right? And when it naturally repairs, there's a better chance of it strengthening and not happening again. Now, it is possible to pinch a nerve again, so you got to be careful. But it's best to heal naturally than having surgery. And doctors can make mistakes when they're cutting into you. So you want to avoid surgery at all costs if you can. Nunez says he's 47, and yes, he does have a herniated disc. See, and people say I'm not a coach, right? See, I already knew. When you said sciatic nerve, I'm like, the dude has a bulging disc. He's the same age as me. He's probably in good shape, right? And he was probably hiking or lifting something sometimes it happens when you get older, even if you're in great shape. So yes, he's going to be fine. He has to do physical therapy. He's not going to be, I'll tell you this. Listen, if you need someone to talk to behind the scenes, or if you need someone to talk to, tell him he's going to be okay. But he's going to be walking funny for a while. He's going to be walking like a penguin. Or walk like an Egyptian. Remember the Bengals? No, he's going to be walking like a penguin for a while. And for the first couple of weeks or a month, he's going to be falling all over the place. He's going to need people holding him, right? So it's going to get better, but it's going to take time. It's a process, and I've been through it. And anything you need from me, Nunya, I'll answer all your questions. I'm still healing from it, but I'm like 11 months into it, and I'm like 95, 97% healed. He's had a previous injury, coach. Well, yeah, he probably re-aggravated it then. Already watched both this morning. LOL. That's good. Did you like the clipped version, Nunya? That was a bite-sized version. But Nuts Crazy World, yes, he's very fair and masculine and very supportive. Good, good. You don't want to be dating any feminized men, Mutt, because you're a female, right? You want a manly man, right? But a manly man that's a good guy that will respect you in the same ways you respect him, right? That's the way it goes. Queen Helen Casey says, Mutt, don't go too fast with him. Just take baby steps. I agree. I agree with Queen. That doesn't mean you can't have fun. You got to do what Coach Corey Wayne says. Hang out, have fun, and hook up. Hang out, have fun, hook up. That's it, right? And if in a few months, 2-3 months, he's consistent, then you could say, hey, where do we stand, right? That's your job as the woman, Mutt, to bring up the relationship. His job as a man is to hang out with you, have fun with you, and hook up. That's it. He takes you out on dates. You talk on the phone. You do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight, right? You know the song, right? We are taking it slow, Queen, says Mutt. That's good. Life is great. Nice diagnosis, Dr. Melas. I'm not a doctor, bro. I'm not a doctor. I've just had a lot of experience, dude. Listen, dude, I went through the same thing. Like, at the moment she said sciatic nerve, he had to go to the ER. I'm like, I know what this dude's going through. And I'm like, he's probably around the same age as me, right? And he's 47, just like me. Oh, man. That's funny, Dr. Melas. My dad was studying to be a doctor in his younger days when he was living in Greece. And because, the war started, him and his family had to leave Greece. And he had to stop his studies. Because of that, and because my father's family ran out of money. My dad was a very smart man. God rest his soul. He died 14 years ago. But yeah, he was going to be a doctor. And instead, he became one of the most amazing entrepreneurs. My father opened up a restaurant with his sister, my aunt, and his parents in Canada. They moved to Vancouver, BC for a while, which is why I have Canadian citizenship as well as American citizenship. So Shangy, if you're still watching me, bro, if you ever want me to visit you in Canada, bro, I have Canadian citizenship too. But it's all good, Shangy. It's all good. Shangy, I've got no issues with you, man. It's not a big deal. But my dad was a phenomenal cook. My mom she's still around. She is a good cook. But my dad was like a better cook than my mother. And that typically doesn't happen. Typically, traditionally, the woman, the housewife, the homemaker, is the better cook. But my dad, like when the holidays would come around, my mom would help my dad. And my dad was not only the king of the castle, my dad was the king of the kitchen, right? My dad was the man. That guy was multi-purpose, right? He was king of the barbecue, king of the kitchen. He could flambe stuff, saute it, with some cooking sherry. Oh man, when my dad could whip up something, man, that was 5-star world class. Just amazing, right? And he would never overcook things, right? The problem with my mother is when she cooks things, she's so paranoid that there's going to be E. coli in there or something, right? She practically burns steaks, right? It's almost like you're eating a piece of charcoal. Is this steak good? No, it's a piece of charcoal, Mom. For Christ's sake, right? My dad would cook it perfect, medium rare, and it was good, right? That's why I used to love it when my dad would cook back in our younger days, right? Wow. Anyway. So let's see here. Let me see. Where else are we? Yes, he's very active like me, says Nunya. Okay, good. Yeah. And that's how it happens when you're active, right? Sometimes it happens. Like I mentioned in the past, you may not have heard this, Nunya. I hike all the time. And I had a hiking backpack that finally gave out. It was pretty old. And while I had another hiking backpack on order, I was using a school backpack, a JanSport backpack that my ex-girlfriend gave me. I had 30 pounds of stuff in it. And the school backpacks don't have a chest strap and a waist strap to distribute the weight equally. Plus, the straps on the back are not as padded as a hiking backpack. So that's where I believe I herniated my disc. Now I got this amazing backpack. I forgot what it's called. It's a 28-liter backpack. I got it from REI, regularly priced at like $130-something, $140. I got it for like $70 or something like that. You get some good deals on REI. And this is a great backpack with a nice chest strap, waist strap, nice pads. I mean, it has different compartments. It's 28 liters. It's not overly big, but not small either. You could even fit a laptop in there. You could put anything in there. It's insulated. It's amazing. So I'll never make that mistake again. We are about 2 years apart in age. Please tell me he's older than you, Mutt, because those younger guys have never worked for you. Mutt, please tell me he's 2 years older than you. I have a feeling you like those younger guys, Mutt, which is not a problem, but they haven't worked out for you in the past. Nuna says, yes, enjoyed them very much. You're very relatable. Just saying. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Nuna. Life is great. You nailed it, though. Well, I appreciate it, dude. It's not even about nailing it, dude. I lived it, bro. Like, what people don't understand about my channel and what I do here as a coach, I share my personal experiences, right? Had I not herniated a disc last year and went through this, I'd have no clue what she's talking about. But I lived it, bro. I lived it. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Nunez says, I got a camp backpack, LOL. Those are good too. Does it have a chest strap and a waist strap? And is it heavily padded in the back? Mutt Nuts Crazy World. He is 45 and I am 43. Mutt, I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Mutt, you're finally dating an older man. This one might actually work out. Mutt, I'm so happy for you. Mutt, do you like my sound effects? You like my sound effects? Oh, man. Oh, RDA's live tonight. What kind of crap is he going to talk about tonight? You know, folks, let me do this. I'm going to talk about one more community news aspect and then get to the topic during the second half. And I'll more than likely clip another 10-minute or less video. I'll tell you, that video that I clipped took me a few hours because I literally, to get that 10-minute clip, I literally had to splice literally probably 100 splices and put them together. Because when you're live and on the fly and you're not reading from a teleprompter, a lot of times people will say, while you're thinking, you're on the fly, you're live, okay, right? You hear the ums and ohs, right? And everybody does it. The reason why you don't hear the ums and ohs on regular TV is because they're reading from a teleprompter. And when you're reading from a teleprompter, you don't have to think. I don't have a teleprompter here. I'm live on the fly. I'm raw, right? So when I went back to edit that video last night, I was like, do I leave it the way it was and just cut out a 10-minute portion and just upload it and get it over with? I'm like, no. Let me make it easier for my audience, right? Let me make it easier for them to consume the whole thing, because that way it'll also give me a better chance to get a higher average view duration and have a higher chance of one of these videos at some point going viral, because people will watch them all the way through, right? So yeah, it was a lot of editing, I'll tell you that. It took me literally about 2 hours to edit that, because I was editing out the ums and ohs, and I had to make the jump cuts, which is what they're called, seem as natural of a transition as possible. But you liked it though, it made a lot of sense, right? I appreciate that, Nunya. Queen Helen Casey, let me read this chat, then I'm gonna mention one more thing here. Lewis Fuller, are you still around? I am being sent a new PC chair for free. It's a almost $100 chair. Good, that's awesome, Mutt. I got my chair. I got a cheap chair. It's actually a good quality chair, but I got a low back chair. It's a Han. I got it for $60 on Amazon. I used to sell Han when I used to work for Office Depot and Office Max back in the days. And the reason why I got a low back chair is because I don't want my chair, the high back of the chair, to show up on my background. Like, you can see me here. You can't see my chair, right? But see, if I were to like, move off to the side, like over here, right? Well, let me move this here. Let's see. You see this right here? This is my chair. It has good enough back support, but it's small to the point of where when I'm, sitting down, I blend in with my green screen, and it's very professional. Do you see? I took a lot of I put a lot of thought and consideration, which is what I'm trying to say, into creating this studio about a year and a half, well, almost 2 years ago, when I got all these lights, the camera, the microphone. I got fiber internet so I could broadcast in higher quality. So I'm happy with this $60, low back Han chair. But is yours a high back or a low back, Mutt? Just kind of curious to know. And by the way, how do you folks like my background tonight? I kind of took this picture from pixabay.com, and then I took a flower background. But here's the point. Act like a lady, right? Act like a lady. How many of you guys out here in the chat think that women act like a lady, or women are ladylike nowadays? Now, some women are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all women. There are good women out there that act like ladies, right? But how many guys out there understand what I'm saying? Do you feel the majority of women in the modern world act like a lady? And that's a lady boss with a suit there, right? Women would rather work nowadays than have a family, have kids, be loved, be taken care of, snuggle up with a man. They'd rather just go to work and work their life away. It's sad. No problem with them working, but I'm still seeing women in their 30s and 40s and 50s that are single, never been married, and have no kids. And they're on dating sites. And it's like, I just stay away from them now because, hey, you know what? If there's an attractive woman on a dating site, like I mentioned before, that's single, never been married, and has no kids, and she has a good job, makes good money, if she hasn't been able to lock down a guy in the last 15, 20 years of her life, there's a problem. The problem is her. She's not ready for it, or she's too consumed with work, or she's overly picky and she's not giving anyone a chance. Or she has such high expectations that there's never going to be a man that's going to reach any of those expectations. That's why you see women in their late 30s, 40s, and 50s that are single, never been married, and have no kids, but they're on dating sites saying that I'm looking for the love of my life. I'm a career woman. I've done well. And she's attractive. I love fitness. I'm looking for this and that. And then you reach out to them and it's like it never works out, or they ghost you, or they meet you, it doesn't go anywhere, right? It's like, it's surreal, right? And you, Josh Haters Inc., we could talk about that on your show, bro, because I saw part of your reaction video to me last night, right? And see, we'll talk about this on your show, dude. You don't seem to understand the modern world of dating because you've been married for the last, 15, 20 years? That's something I'm going to ask you. I'm going to allow you to prepare for it, bro. You've been married for all this time. So you can't speak on, on dating in the modern world because you've been married for 10, 15 years at least, right? Okay. So how in the world are you going to have experience to talk about that, bro, when you've been married all this time? You have no clue what you're talking about. And we can actually talk more about that. We can talk more about that on your show, which is what I'm trying to say. All right. Let me see here. Great sound effects, says Nunya. Yes, like the sound effects, says Mutt. Muttnut's Crazy World. It's camo and has a massage feature in it as well. I think it's kind of a high back, but I need that to help support my back where I have lower back problems. Cool. Life is great. There are definitely a lot of confused women, Coach. Not as many girly girls, it seems. No. Like, it seems like 3% of the men in this world are real men and 3% of the women are real women. And it's hard to find each other. Yes, I have found women that are a part of that 3% club on the women's side. But 97% of men and women in the world today are just unreasonable. Unreasonable. And even if they say they are ready for a relationship, their expectations are set so high that no man on the planet can hit it, right? Like all these women, like I feel honestly from what I've seen, 97% of the women out there have such high expectations that there isn't a man on the planet, no matter how good they are and everything they're looking for, is going to hit it. And that's why you have these women, like I said, that are single, never been married and have no kids in their late 30s, 40s, and even in their 50s. And they're going to be eternally single until they figure out that, hey, you got to give a little to get some, right? You can't just sit there and expect to have the perfect man. It doesn't exist. You got to give a little, right? Put your guard down, right? Stop flexing your muscles and be a lady, right? And let a good, real man come into your life and show you what it's supposed to be all about. And you can show him what it's supposed to be about on the flip side, right? Nunya says, life is great. I agree to disagree. Nunya, well, I will disagree with you. He's 100% correct about this, Nunya. But see, you're from the old school, so you don't understand how the modern world works, right? You were married for a while, so you're back. You're going to go back on this dating scene soon, Nunya, and you're going to experience something unlike anything you've seen before. It's unlike anything you will see. You're going to have a lot of guys that are going to try to have one-night stands with you. You're going to have a lot of guys that pretend to be something they're not. And trust me, you're gonna unless you understand what we're talking about, and many other people are talking about on YouTube and other platforms regarding this modern day world of dating. Unless you understand it, you're gonna slip into what these other women have slipped into. I hope it doesn't happen with you, Nunya, but if you're disagreeing with what Life is Great is saying, which is completely true, and I back it completely, right? Then I don't know what to tell you. No disrespect, I'm just stating the facts. That's all. And I am just an old tomboy, says Queen. Well, you're not old, Queen. You're only a few years older than me. You're just being funny. And you have chosen to never date again. That's your choice, Queen. Maybe you'll change that one day, but that's all good. One more thing here before I go on break. The community news I wanted to talk about. Lewis Fuller, if you're around, you sent me a message or an email earlier today, and I messaged you on Hangouts to verify if it was you. I think it was you. You were telling me that a couple of women in one of your groups, and let me actually see this, Lewis. Give me a second here. Give me a second here, Lewis. Where is your email? There you are. I put two people in my Working Out Your Problems group, Rosie Wren and Jenny. That's probably Jenny from the block because they used to be friends. Jenny from the block's been trying to get through to Rosie for a while. And I thought they had resolved their issues. However, Rosie went live, and once the trolls started in on Jenny, Rosie took the troll's side. Now the girls hate each other again. What do? I want them to get along. There's nothing you can do, bro. Listen, bro. Lewis, this is the one thing you need to understand. They're behaving like chicks. That's what they're doing. Lewis, understand this, and everyone else understand this. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, back in the days before women were liberated, women were dependent on a man for survival, right? So what would women do? They would seek out the strongest man, and when there was a strong man around, you'd have 5 or 10 women fighting amongst each other to try to win over that man, right? So women used to fight over men because they wanted to find the strongest man overall, physically, mentally, emotionally, et cetera, financially, right, whatever, to get with, procreate with, because they were dependent on a man for survival, right? Well, nowadays, because women have been liberated, okay, and they don't need a man for survival, they're making their own money, right? Okay, they're basically taking care of themselves, right? Okay, does that mean their biology has changed? No. Women's biology has never changed, and it will never change, regardless of how artificially we try to change everything, right? Okay? So what's happening, right? Instead of women fighting over men, now they're fighting over each other, right? They're fighting over each other, right? Now, here's the thing, Lewis and everyone else. Now, Jenny from the block has been a part of this channel before, so has Rosie Wren. They're both blocked here now, and I don't know if I will ever welcome them back. I don't want that kind of drama here. But Rosie Wren, I believe, has autism, right? So, and Jenny doesn't. And here's the thing, okay? Like, you, Lewis, and other people have been telling me to try to work things out with Rosie and to talk with her. I just don't think it's even worth it. I'll tell you why. Because when you're dealing with certain people that have autism, they're always going to go back to the dark side without even realizing it. It's part of their autism, right? And unless you want to be caught up with or in an endless loop of back and forth drama, which I don't think Rosie's intentionally trying to do that. I think it has to do with her autism, right? And that's what Jenny should understand. Jenny, in my opinion, if you're watching, I don't know if you watch my stuff anymore or not, maybe Lewis can relay you a message. Because Lewis, honestly, I don't want to get involved in this because it's too much drama, dude. You got to stop trying to help people that can't be helped, bro. You got to stop trying to help people that can't be helped. I used to be just like you, Lewis. Okay? I feel the same way as you. I want everyone to get along, but you have to just realize after time, or in time, that you just can't help everyone, right? And not everyone was meant to be together, right, or to get along. I think Rosie should go her own way. I think Jenny should go her own way, and I think that you and Jenny should stop trying to get through to Rosie. Everyone's tried to help Rosie. I've tried to help her. You've tried to help her. American Dream, I believe, tried to help her. She's had so many chances to be helped, right? And every time she backtracks, right? She lets trolls come in her chat because she probably can't grow her channel without trolls, right? Because of her content's drama. That's on her, right? So I honestly think it's time to move on. Let her figure this out on her own. Leave Rosie alone. Starve her of the attention, and let's see what she does. The only way to get through to somebody like that, Lewis, is to starve them, right? Starve her out. So anyway, before I take a quick break here, we're at 45 minutes. I'm gonna let me just read the chat here. Let me check out Facebook too. Pinoy Ahoy says, "I will be there." Hello, brother. I will be there. Well, you say that every time, Pinoy Ahoy, and you never show up. And you still haven't shown up. You're welcome to come on the channel, but I haven't seen you there, bro. It's okay, dude. Pinoy Ahoy, come and go as you wish, dude. Don't even say you're gonna come, because if you don't come, that doesn't look good, bro. But come and go as you wish. I know you're busy. You've got your Grow Stream channel. You're doing your own thing, and you pop into a lot of channels, bro. So just come and go as you wish. No worries. It's all good. It's all good, man. Nunez says, "I'm tough to get, and yes, I'm picky, but that's because of my divorce, but I am girly girl." It's one thing to be picky, and another thing to not be open to letting someone come into your life. Nunez, right? All women are picky nowadays. It's not even the problem of women being overly picky. Well, maybe to a certain extent it is. But it goes deeper than that. Even if a woman is interested in you, most women have a hard time balancing their work and their personal life, right? And they're not willing to prioritize getting to know you at all. Like if I'm gonna get to know a woman, that's gonna be a priority, and I want her to make it a priority to get to know me. And if I sense that a woman is just trying to fit me in and trying to fit me around her work schedule, but not making a valid enough effort, then I'm not interested. I want to be with a woman. I want to get to know a woman that's excited to want to get to know me, right? And if she's excited to want to get to know me, she's going to move mountains to try to work something out, right? Most women are not like that, which is why I eliminate them quickly. I want to be with a woman that's excited to want to get to know me. Just as I want to be excited to want to get to know her, right? That's all. All right. Okay. I'm afraid of getting hurt again. Well, then don't put yourself out there, Nunya, because if you're afraid of getting hurt, you're going to come up as guarded. And when that right guy comes around, you're going to say it's too good to be true because you're going to have a protective nature, right? So until you work through your issues, take a few months off, take half a year off, go walk at the park every day, get those endorphins flowing, right? Until you work through it and you're at a point where you're not guarded, it's not going to work out. So why put yourself out there? If you put yourself out there now, you're going to be doing the same thing other women in the same situation are in. You're basically going to put yourself out there seeking validation, right? Now, you're not going to come out here publicly and say that no woman's going to come out publicly and say, I'm putting a profile on Match.com, even though I'm not ready, but I just want to see how many guys would be interested in me because I'm a validation seeking, you know what. I'm not going to say it to get demonetized. It's the truth though, right? So if you're afraid of getting hurt, but you're putting yourself out there and you're guarded, let's say you have a profile saying that I'm looking for a relationship, but you know you're guarded like you said, right? And the right guy comes around and you don't give him the time of day, or you say, oh, dude, you sound too good to be true, right? Right? In essence, you're seeking validation, but you're not going to give that guy the chance because you're guarded and you're going to think he's too good to be true, even if he's the real deal, right? See, that's the thing. Women respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. And until your emotions feel better within yourself, Nunya, to not be guarded or, at all, or everyone's going to be guarded to a certain extent, but it sounds like you're super guarded, right? It's one thing to be a little cautious and one thing to be super guarded. It sounds like you're super guarded. Until you're able to lower that guard down and let somebody in legitimately, you're spinning your wheels. You're going to waste your time. You're going to waste other guys' time, right? And then you're gonna be basically another number of the type of women I've been talking about here. You don't want to go down that route. You want to go down the positive route. Work on yourself first, and when you're ready to put yourself back out there with that guard down, then it'll be all good. Right again, coach. I'm not trying to be right. It's not even about being right. It just makes logical sense. But see, now here's the thing. No disrespect, you're female, right? I can speak all the logic to you, as much as possible, right? But women respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment, right? I'm speaking a language that I'm not saying you're not hearing, but may not be able to understand clearly, at least not right away. You're going to respond to it emotionally, right? And that's the difference between men and women. We'll talk more about that after the break. When we talk about modern women are assertive at everything nowadays, except when dating men. Well, Mutt defied that stereotype because she asked her dude out. I got to respect that, Mutt. So we'll talk about that when we get back from the break. He just says yes. No arguments there. All right, let me cue up some music here. Do-do-do-do. Let me get some music going here. All right. All right. Here we go. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a short break. And like I said, when we return, we're going to be discussing modern women are assertive at everything in this modern world, that is, except when dating men. Because they have so many more options. They want to sit back and they want us to bask in their glory, right? Right? And then we do that, and what happens? They call us beta males, right? Right? Then they're turned off because we're putting them on a pedestal. But then they don't want to be assertive and ask us out instead, right? They want everything to be equal in this world, with the exception of dating, right? Or how the initiation part of the dating process starts. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I just snorted a second there. All right. Stick around. We'll be right back. we're back. Mutt, you're going to say welcome back. You're in a good mood lately, Mutt, and I know why. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Oh, yeah. Act like a lady. What's happened to our women nowadays? What's happened to our sweet, innocent ladies nowadays? God. Oh boy. Our sweet, innocent ladies are not that innocent anymore. And that's part of the problem there, because, us guys love sweet, innocent women because we're the strong alpha males, right? We're the tigers, we're the beasts, right? But now when women are trying to act like tigers and beasts, it creates a conflict of interest, right? You tell me, guys. Does this not create a conflict of interest? We'll talk more about that in just a few here. But for now, welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube and also simulcasting live on Facebook. Glad you could all join me on this Wednesday. It is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. And tonight, we've discussed a bunch of things. I kind of talked a little bit about the topic during the first half, but I'm going to go into greater detail here in just a few. The topic is modern women are assertive at everything except when dating men, or when it comes to men, right? When it comes to dealing with men on a personal relationship level, right? One more time. The topic is modern women are assertive at everything except when dating men. I wouldn't say they're anywhere near assertive. They're more dismissive. Instead of women being assertive and going up to a dude and saying, hey, you're a sexy guy. You seem like a good guy. You want to go out with me sometime? You want to take me on a date? Instead of doing that, when they're assertive at everything else, which is what I'm trying to say, they're dismissive. And they're dismissive more often than not. And the way that this world has become, this artificial world, it's just destroying society. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, it's destroying society. You tell me, guys, there are a lot of guys that follow my channel that have been that have been well versed, which is what I'm trying to say, regarding modern day dating relationships and the modern day man and the modern day woman. And they understand where I'm coming from. I mean, if this is not fixed soon, if the government doesn't do something, and I'm not talking about just the government here in the US, I'm talking about this is a global issue. This is a global issue. If the government doesn't do something to stimulate the benefit of marriage, by reforming certain laws and basically creating some stimulus, we're going to become extinct. The human race will eventually become extinct like dinosaurs. Again, it won't happen during my lifetime or our lifetime, but if this continues to go on for another 300 to 500 years, I can tell you the birth rate's already started to decline. Why? Because you have women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that are single, never been married, have no kids. Why? Because they're career focused instead of relationship focused. And it's not a bad thing for women to be career focused, but they should also be taught to be able to balance that out and have the family life at the same time. Again, if not, we're going to go extinct. That's my prediction. Is that a fair and honest assessment? You tell me. Let me know what you think. Seriously. And it's frustrating to guys like me because I want to date a sweet, innocent, loving, and caring woman. At the same time, she needs to be independent because that's the way things are nowadays. And she can be strong and assertive, but she also needs to be respectful. It needs to respect me as a man, and I'll respect her as a woman. And she doesn't have to come at me with more masculine energy all the time than feminine energy. I don't need a woman flexing her muscles on me, say, hey, I am woman, hear me roar. I'm equal to you, right? We know that, right? See, if I'm with a woman and she starts to flex her muscles and tries to flex authority for being liberated, that's where I draw the line. That's very, very unattractive to me. It turns me off. There's no need to do that. It's a known thing. The rights that you have nowadays, congratulations, I'm all for it. It's a known thing. You flexing your muscles is exuding more masculine energy than feminine energy, and that's not attractive to men. Masculine men are attracted to feminine women. If you're exuding, or flexing your muscles and doing all that, trying to assert your liberty, right? That's unattractive. And that's where we're at. That's exactly where we're at. And if you don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Mutt says, welcome back. Queen Helen Case says, don't count on the government because they are evil. Well, Queen, listen, here's the thing. I don't count on anyone for anything. All I'm stating is that the only way that this issue of the birth rate declining and divorce rates skyrocketing 60% here in the U.S. and globally, they're about 50 to 60% as well, right? More than one out of every two people, more than one out of every two couples that are married nowadays end up in divorce, right? Many people aren't even getting married and they're not reproducing, right? So the birth rate has gone down. What's that going to do to the future of our society? It's not going to exist, right? So who are the only people that can fix this? The government needs to step in and actually identify this issue and try to correct it before it's too late. If not, then, planet Earth is going to be empty. I'm telling you, it's going to be empty. Life is Great says, there is nothing that turns me off more than a woman who wears Stetson and spits chewing tobacco. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. I actually like women that are kind of tomboyish because they're kind of like a woman that does things that a man would do. See, my ex Dana was kind of like a tomboy, right? She was very feminine, when we would go out and, we would, be in the bedroom and all that. But, if we were working in the yard or doing something that typically would be something of a job that a man would do, she would help me out with it and she was good at it, right? But she never, ever, ever once disrespected me as a man, and I never disrespected her as a woman. And, there were times where I would just say, let me take care of it, babe. She goes, I want to help you. I don't feel it's fair for you to have to do all this, right? I want to help you do it because I care. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, it's all good, And then she's helping me do stuff, and, I could slap her booty every now and then, and she could slap mine. She would slap my booty too. See, that's the way it should be, right? But most women are not like her, right? They're not able to do masculine things and still maintain most of their femininity and still be able to respect the man for being a man. And in that way, in turn, we can respect her as a woman. I actually agree with that. Life is Great. Thumbs up. So let's talk about the topic here. Modern women are assertive at everything except when dating men. I saw this video that I mentioned at the beginning of the show. And let me go ahead and mention it again. This is a channel that I highly recommend anyone to subscribe to. Here, give me a second here. Okay. The channel is called It's Complicated Channel, all one word, ITSCOMPLICATEDCHANNEL. And the video was called Power of the P. The P is the feminine body part below the waist. I need to say that for monetization purposes. to be ad friendly. Power of the P, being honest. Rules of modern dating and understanding women. It's complicated. And this dude goes around with a microphone and asks men and women some pretty interesting questions about the way the modern world is, right? And he was asking questions such as, in this video, he asked one question. I'm trying to remember it exactly. He was saying that, women are assertive at everything. So do you think that women should ask a man out, or a man should always ask a woman out? And most of the women, actually all the women, my apologies, I believe all the women said, the man should ask the woman out. And, the guy was asking why, because, it's the manly thing to do. And he was asking, is there anything wrong with, a woman asking a man out? Well, they said, no, there's nothing wrong with a woman doing anything. It's just that we don't want to do that. Well, I thought everything was supposed to be, fair, right? If women are going to be assertive at everything else, why can't they be assertive at asking men out? Well, what are my thoughts about these women's responses, right? Why are they not asking men out? The simple answer is they don't have to. And once again, it all boils down to the beta man, right? All these beta males, right? And when I say beta males, I'm not saying that these guys are nasty guys. A lot of the beta males are in executive positions here in the Bay Area. They work high-tech jobs. These guys make good money. They're actually good-looking guys, right? They dress nice. They have nice cars. They have nice homes. They have everything, right? They look like the perfect guy, right? So where is the issue? They have no game. And when I say game, I'm not saying play a game on women. They basically have no self-respect when it comes to dealing with women. They will approach women and they will put women on a pedestal at the expense of their own self-respect, right? And these women out there know that. These women know how these betas are. Let me tell you, women are very intuitive, guys, okay? Most men are not that intuitive. I am. I'm one of the few men that's intuitive, which is why I get this, and I want to help as many men become as intuitive as myself or become instinctual to see this, right? But what gives women these options? I've been talking about this for the past week, right? Is the fact that the beta males put these women on a pedestal, and women know that, right? So why do women have to chase men? Women don't have to chase men anymore because men are chasing women. And that is the complete opposite of what should be happening. All roads lead back to those beta men, says Life is Great. Yep. Hey, Joe. Hi, Coach Eli, says Joe Shipley. Hey, Joe, welcome to the show. Welcome, right? So if women have 100 or 200 men, okay, on the back burner, always chasing them, when do they even have time to chase the man that they really want? And when women are more career-focused than relationship-focused, what will they do? What will they do? I really wish you betas would understand this, right? They'll get with you temporarily because you have money. And you're going to take them to nice dinners, and you're going to buy them nice things, right? And then a year down the road, they're going to get bored because you're not an alpha male, right? Maybe you're not the best lover. Maybe you're an okay enough lover, so they stick around for a little while to extract as much of your resources as possible, right? And once they extract most of your resources that are available, right? Or they finally get bored of the intimacy, or they find a better man, they're going to be gone, right? So what are these women doing? They're going to college, they're getting a degree, and then they're getting into their career. And they're not focusing on relationships at all, but they still have needs, right? They still have needs. So they'll get with a beta male because the beta male will basically give them everything to the point of where women don't have to pay for anything, right? All women have to pay for is their rent, their car payment, their insurance. They don't have to pay for dinners. They don't have to pay for clothing. Guys will buy women clothing. Guys will buy everything. These beta males will buy everything for these women, right? So women don't feel the need to be assertive. Again, let's talk about biology here, right? These are biological facts. How were men and women made to be by a higher power I believe to be God? Okay, men are supposed to be masculine and women are supposed to be feminine, right? What is feminine energy? Feminine energy is opening up to receive love, sweetness, kindness, right? Okay, consideration, right? Love, flowers, roses, right? That's feminine energy, right? Okay, what's masculine energy? Masculine energy is purpose driven. What is your purpose as a man? What are you making out of yourself? What type of career do you do that's paying your bills, right? Okay. So masculine energy is purpose driven. Okay. And feminine energy is like love and sweetness and all that type of stuff, right? Nowadays, you have women that are behaving like men, right? And it's forced a lot of men, and they don't even realize it, it's forced them to behave like women to offset the flipped polarity, right? And then you have men like myself that are still real men and are seeing this, and we're going out there trying to connect with women, and we clash because these women are acting like men. I'm a man, right? And these women, when I talk with them, right, when I call them out on what they're doing, then they say, well, you're anti-women's rights, you're anti-women's lib, no, I'm not. I'm happy for that. I'm anti-you trying to pretend to be something you're not. I'm anti-you trying to flex your muscles like you're a dude and you're a chick. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Women, like I've been saying all along, respond to everything emotionally based on how they're feeling in the present moment. And then they may reason with logic afterwards. I'm not saying women are not capable of thinking logically. What I'm saying, guys, and listen to this, women are emotional beings. They are driven by their emotions, even in the workforce. You can't change biology, right? You can try to artificially, overwrite it, right? But at the end of the day, women still respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment, at work, at home, everywhere, right? But then you go into a job where you're a female manager and you have to fire someone, right? And in your head and heart, you're like, I know I have to fire them. It's part of my job, but I feel really bad because I don't want to hurt anyone, right? The emotions kick in, right? So in essence, you're pretending to be something you weren't made to be just to comply in this new artificial world we're living in. That's my opinion, right? Men on the flip side, we're logical thinkers. We think about everything logically first, and then we might react with a bit of emotion, sometimes maybe more than a bit of emotion. We try to contain our emotions because if we go off the deep end with our emotions, then that's when we're called, a woman, right? Dude, you're acting like a bitch, right? Right. I've heard that before. Dude, Eli, you're acting like a bitch. I look back when my friends used to tell me that. I'm like, they're right. I was whining, right? Men don't whine. That's not masculine energy, right? So we were biologically made to be a certain way. And again, I'm happy that women have equal rights. Women should have always had equal rights, equal pay for equal work, the right to bear arms, the right to vote, freedom of speech. Women should have always had these rights. Okay? But outside of that is what causes the issue, right? And even a little bit, inside of that, women being liberated and being able to provide for themselves, okay, allows them now to be able to easily eliminate men because they're not dependent on men for survival anymore. So that's one aspect, okay? I'll give that to women. That's fine. You have more choices now, okay? I get that, right? But on top of having choices, right, you're still emotional beings, right? And at least back in the days where things were more traditional and you were more dependent on a man for survival, okay, your emotions were a little bit more in check. Women have always been emotional, right? But now that women are free to do whatever they want because they have more options due to being able to support themselves, okay, they're able to let their emotions run even more freely, right? And that's part of the issue. The part of the issue is the biological aspect of a woman has not changed, right? We've artificially, changed women from the way they were biologically made to be, right? So that's throwing off their emotions more than ever, right? Excellent breakdown, Coach says life is great. No disrespect, these are just the facts. These are the cold hard facts, right? So we're living in an artificial world, folks. We're living in an artificial world. And both men and women are artificial nowadays. It's more so women, but there are artificial men. The beta males, in my opinion, are artificial men. Whether they realize it or not, you betas are not real men. Because real men don't behave the way that you behave. Real men aren't dependent on a woman for survival. Real men are not going to suck up to a woman and kiss her ass and be a conformist. Real men survive on their own. And if a good enough woman comes in to bring value into your life, then you'll let her in, right? Real men are leaders, not followers. What part of that don't you guys understand? So we have artificial men, right? But more so, we have artificial women. Artificial women, number one. Again, I'm cool with women having equal rights. They should have always had that, right? But nowadays, women are doing things that they weren't biologically made to do. No problem that they're doing them. That's cool, right? They're working, no problem, right? But is that part of their natural biology and the way that the good Lord made them to be? No, right? It's artificial, right? Again, like I said, you have a sweet woman that responds to everything emotionally based on how she's feeling in the present moment. She works for a major corporation, has to fire someone, right, as part of her job. And she's thinking to herself, oh man, I have to fire this guy that's worked here for 10 years. He did something that violates the company policy. I have to terminate him. He has a family, a wife, kids. And she starts thinking with her emotions. I really don't want to do this, but I don't have a choice, right? She's out of her natural essence of feeling sorry and feeling compassion, right? So she has to force herself to be something she's biologically not, to fire this person, right? Because that's what her job calls for her to do. When typically, this job in the past was known as a job that was only done by men. If women want to be executives, no problem. But this is the problem it's created. Furthermore, you have women that are artificially dolling themselves up. You got women. They dye their hair. Okay, no problem. I dye my beard. I'm 47, so I'll give you that, right? But women even dye their hair before they get gray hair. Women have dyed their hair since they were younger. They change colors, right? So actually, I can't even give them that because they do it before they go gray, right? Right? They get to a certain age and they're like, okay, my boobs aren't big enough. I'm not attracting enough men. So I'm going to go get artificial implants, right? I'm going to get breast implants, right? Okay. So we go and enhance our boobs. We get a tummy tuck. We get Botox, right? We lift our butts, right? We wear makeup, eyeliner, mascara, right? We have stockings for our legs to make them look more dark. Artificial, right? Let me tell you something. My ex-girlfriend, Dana, there was nothing artificial about her. She was naturally beautiful to me. Now, a few times she wore makeup, very rarely. I told her, I said, look, I don't like makeup. I like you for the way you are. She goes, well, every now and then I want to look super nice for you. Like, you look super nice to me just being normal, natural. I asked her, I look, do I bang you any less, babe, when you're not wearing makeup? She's like, no. I said, look, you don't have to do that. Well, every so often it makes me feel, okay, babe, if it makes you feel better about yourself, so be it. But I'm with you, not because of wearing makeup or anything artificial. I'm with you because you're a good, loving, sweet woman. And you respect me and I respect you. That's all that matters, right? I'll get to the chat in a few. Oh, man. Sorry, I had to take care of something over on the Facebook side of things. My apologies. It's all artificial, folks. We live in an artificial world. And here's the thing. Why are women even going through all the trouble nowadays to artificially enhance their entire bodies when their standards are set so high? They have unrealistic expectations to the point of where they're never going to allow anyone to come into their lives. So why are they even going out of their way to doll themselves up artificially to attract those guys, right? And even if you attract guys, are you being the real you? What happens when you take that makeup off? What happens when you take those stockings off, right? What happens when you don't dye your hair, right? What happens, right? What are you, some gremlin? I mean, seriously. I've always admired the natural beauty in people. I've always admired people that don't feel the need to artificially enhance themselves in any way, shape, or form. Mentally, emotionally, physically, etc., right? That's called keeping it real, right? You know, you see that 100 sign, right? I'll even put that on the YouTube chat or in the YouTube chat, right? Right, let's just do this. And Nightbot can't time me out because I own Nightbot on my channel. So let's just do this, okay? Let's put that 100. Keep it real, right? 100, right? Let me make sure it pops on the screen here. It should pop on here in just a second, like right here. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There we go, 100, right? This is the thing with me. I respect and appreciate people that keep it 100 all the time. All around, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and in every way possible, right? We live in an artificial world, folks. We live in an artificial world. And quite frankly, no one's getting anywhere. There are a few people that have found somebody that, you know, there are some good people that are dating and married, you know, and it's beautiful, right? But it's very rare. The majority of people, 97% of the people in this world, are either single or unhappily in a relationship or unhappily married, right? It's because they just don't understand how to properly navigate this modern world we all live in. 3% of the people have got it going on. Now, the other 3% are either single or they're with somebody that complements their life genuinely and realistically. So those are my thoughts, folks. Those are my thoughts. We're at an hour and 31 minutes. I'm going to wrap up the stream in a few minutes. Get your questions in right now on Facebook and or YouTube. I'm going to go through the chat one more time, and when I get to the bottom, I'm going to wrap this up. This topic takes a lot out of me because I'm very passionate about it. I genuinely care about the best overall interest of everyone. I care about everyone's happiness. It's just the way things are nowadays. If something's not done about it, it's just going to implode further than it already has. Nunya says, women have come a long way, at least some of us have. Nunya, this is the thing. See, Nunya, you know I have a lot of respect for you, and I like who you are. But the way you're reacting is just like these other women are reacting, Nunya. You seriously, honestly, you're a much better person than that. No one's trying, Nunya, who's trying to take away women's rights? You see, when women feel the need to assert the fact that we've been liberated, so we are women, hear me roar, that's not attractive to men like myself or any decent man that understands this, any decent alpha male, right? Women have come a long way, at least some of us have. So, Nunya, women have been liberated for over 55 years, right? And women were fighting for equal rights long before that, right? So we're 55 or so years into this women's movement, right? It's a known thing. Let me ask you a question, Nunya, and be honest with me. Why did you feel the need to say that? Did you feel the need to flex your muscles and assert the fact that you're a strong modern woman and you dudes need to understand that and just deal with it and live with it? Because that's how it comes off. Now, I'm not coming at you. I'm asking you a valid question, right? Because if you come across the alpha type of guy that you want to attract, right? He's going to call you out on this, right? He's going to test you to see, are you more of a feminine woman or a masculine woman, right? That's what he's going to do. So I'm preparing you for this, right? GLM, hey Gargamel, hey kids. I had a beta fish once. It was aggressive, so I named him Alpha. That's hilarious. Hi GLM, says Nunya. GLM, few men want my job. You're a social worker. I think women are much better at being a social worker than men. Well, that's why you do what you do. You see, GLM, you don't see any men complaining about more women are social workers than men, but women will complain in other jobs that require more masculine energy that more men have this job than us women. Well, because they're more qualified than you. Here's another thing I've mentioned in a while. Part of having equal rights doesn't mean that women are going to get special privileges over men when applying for the same job. If a man and a woman apply for the same job and the man gets the job over the woman, he's getting the job not because he's a man, she's a woman. He's getting the job because he's more qualified, right? If the woman was more qualified, on the flip side, she would get the job over the man and get paid exactly the same the man would be offered, right? But see, when women get passed up in that way legitimately because they're not as qualified, they'll go and say, HR department, I wasn't hired because I'm a woman and the other person was a man. You see, that's what this has empowered women to do, play the system, right? Then what happens? This company will find a job for her to keep her quiet from going over social media and blasting this company for being sexist or something like that, right? That's what happens, right? The system we live in has empowered women to seek out and get special privileges that men have never had. That's the truth of the matter. GLM says, when men do come to work in my office, I'm all over that ish, yada mean. Okay, cool, GLM. I don't believe in plastic surgery, says Queen. That's good. GLM, I got gray hair the second time I turned 29. Not 36, right, GLM? It's all good. It's all good. You're going to be eternally 29. That's all good. GLM, my ex paid for my boobs. He was good like that. This is your entertainment, GLM. I'm glad we could provide it for you over here on the Agrip on Live channel. Nunez says, I agree with you at Queen, but I did dye my hair purple. See? I dyed my hair purple. God bless you, Nuna. Thank you for your honesty. Nightbot, you better behave, says Queen. He's doing quite well today, Queen. GLM, I wouldn't want any other job. I was born for this poop. Okay. GLM furthermore says, although this 13-hour day just kicked my rear end. Time to, okay, you coming through again, Eli, to, I'm not going to read that, GLM. I'm not gonna have my stream demonetized on your account. GLM says, long day, Eli. I like to kick back and play in the chats, brother. Well, it's GLM. I could think of many better things to do after a long, hard day at work than chatting on YouTube. I mean, once in a while, no problem. But if I was dating someone, I'd take them out to dinner or go hang out with them or snuggle up with them over being in a YouTube chat. But hey, to each its own, right? All right, folks. I'm going to get on out of here. We are at 1 hour and 37 minutes. I'm going to try to clip the topic part of this show today and upload another pre-recorded video tomorrow if I have the energy. I have to figure out a better way to do it quicker because it is quite a lot of work, but I'll do my best. GLM says, nah, this is perfect. But with that being said, folks, have yourself a great night, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Act like a lady. Don't forget, act like a lady. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, too soon. Let's try again. Here we go.